What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. These are my Draftkings MMA picks for UFC 285. We have John Jones going against Cyril Gane.
I need all the wins, yeah. Harder than all that is. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out.
And we are back talking some DraftKings for UFC 285. A very good card here, 14 fights on this card. I'm really looking forward to this card. Not only from a fan perspective, but from a DraftKings perspective, we have 14 fights to work with. Crossing my fingers that all 14 fights stay on. I mean, last week I posted a video, and next thing you know, we lost 2 fights, and then we lost the freaking main event during the card. So I'm hoping none of that happens this week, but I'm hoping we get all these fights, because this card's very good. A couple things before we get started and get into the picks. If you guys can please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. It is always much appreciated. Working my way up to try to reach 20,000 subs, hopefully in the very near future. And it's a big pay-per-view card. John Jones is back after a 3-year layoff. I'm bringing back the DraftKings points contest. To enter this contest, a couple things. First, leave a like. Second, subscribe if you're not already. And then third, comment down how many DraftKings points you think that Bo Nickel is going to score in this matchup against Jamie Pickett. Whoever gets closest, $25 the first. If there's a tie, the tiebreaker will go to the person that did comment first. So comment down how many DraftKings points you think that Bo Nickel is going to score this week. I'm curious to see all these answers here. Other than that, I do want to bring up the website here, dfsbythenumbers.com. I'm going to scroll down to this MMA DFS option, which is probably what you're looking for if you're here watching this video. But yeah, $10 a month, guys. Lots of value in this tier. With this, you get access to an MMA model with all the stats in this. It's all the stats you see on the Friday show, the Saturday show, the betting breakdown video, all the stats you see there, the finish stats, the striking, grappling, all that stuff. Access to my lineup optimizer. This is probably what makes the most value out of this. I mean, this, only $10 a month for a freaking optimizer. You can build up to 150 lineups. My DFS article, which should be out earlier this week, fighter projections and ownership projections, access to Discord, GPP lineup percentages, targets, rankings, much more. Lots of great stuff on dfsbythenumbers.com. Be sure to check it out. Only $10 a month. And if you have not, go get yourself a t-shirt. Go to the merch option. $25 for a t-shirt, I believe it is. Free shipping on me for anybody in the U.S. as well. So go check that out, dfsbythenumbers.com. Do appreciate all the support from you guys week in and week out, and everybody that has signed up to the website. All right, let's get into the video, though. We got the fight doesn't go to decision lines here. As always, we have Bo Nickel, Jamie Pickett, minus 1,000. Fight doesn't go to decision. So they're fully expecting this fight to finish. I'm fully expecting this fight to finish. In terms of this fight from a DraftKings perspective, I'm not going to have any Pickett. Maybe that comes back to bite me, but I mean, Bo Nickel's like minus 2,000. I saw him like minus 2,200 on a book just a second ago. So I think Bo Nickel wins this fight. It's just a matter of when, and I'm strongly leaning it's going to be early. I think he has honestly like 60-second upside. See, I'm gonna have a ton of Bo Nickel this week. As far as Jamie Pickett, although typically you'd like to target a fight that doesn't go to decision, minus 1,000 both sides. I'd be really surprised if Jamie Pickett pulled at the upset. So I'll be all in on Bo Nickel this week, even though he's very expensive. We'll talk more about that in a second. Ian Gary going against Song Kanan. We have minus 250. Fight doesn't go to decision. This is a card where there's a lot of big favorites. Like we have Ian Gary's like minus 700. So yes, I'm going to get to Ian Gary, but I don't know if I'll be getting to Song Kanan. I mean, I think there's a lot of things going against Song Kanan here. The layoff. He's been knocked out 3 times. We haven't seen him fight in a while, and the last time we did see him fight, he got starched by Max Griffin. So it's hard to play both sides in this one as well. I gotta go Gary. I don't know if I'll be getting too much Song. Maybe like a little sprinkle, just because I think if he does win, it's a knockout. But hard to see him pulling off this upset here. All right, next we have the minus 250 fight doesn't go to decision. Shavkat Rakhmonov, Jeff Neal. Now this is a fight I can get behind. Playing a little bit of both sides here. So Shavkat Rakhmonov, he's a must target. 9,200. This guy's a 100% finish rate. What I like about Shavkat is he has 16 wins. Half of those are by knockout. Half of those are by sub. He can knock you out. He can take you down. He can sub you. In this matchup in particular, I think he's going to want to take this fight down to the mat. And if he does, I think he very well could submit Jeff Neal and do it probably early as well. So I like Shavkat here at 9,200. But on the flip side, if Shavkat Rakhmonov for some reason is not able to take this fight down to the mat, it's going to get real interesting real fast. I mean, Jeff Neal can knock out anybody. I mean, if you can knock out Vicente Luque, you can knock out anybody, right? So it's all going to come down to if Shavkat can get this fight down to the mat. I lean towards him doing so, and that's why I'll have a lot more Shavkat Rakhmonov. But as far as Jeff Neal as a pump play, I don't think it's the worst look in the world. Moving on, we got Cody Garbrandt going against Trevin Jones. What a mess of a fight, but it's a fight that probably should be targeted. I think Trevin Jones, honestly, is like one of the more intriguing dogs on the slate just because, like, if he wins the fight, it's going to be by knockout. I mean, Cody Garbrandt's the much better fighter here. It's not even close, but the dude's been knocked out 4 times, and Trevin Jones, I don't think he's that great, but what he does have is power. So I'm probably a little bit more interested in the Trevin Jones side just because I think he has that knockout upside, and maybe Cody has some knockout upside as well, but, Trevin Jones in 22 fights, he's never been knocked out. So I'll have some Cody just because I think he should win this fight. I mean, I think he's the much better fighter, but Trevin Jones as a dog is something I'll be looking at this week. And we'll talk more about some other underdogs, but there's not a ton that really stick out this week because there's so many big favorites on this card. Let's get into our core plays here. So Bo Nickel, 9,600. He could be 10,000. I play him here. I think he wins this fight more often than not, and it's not a hot take or nothing like that. He's minus 2,000, but I think he wins this fight inside the distance. We saw, Charles Byrd submit Jamie Pickett. I believe that was the first or second round. We saw, Kyle Dawkins submit Jamie Pickett in the first round. We saw the Beverly Hills Ninja Jordan Wright finish Jamie Pickett in a minute. I mean, Bo Nickel should go out here, get a takedown, and choke this guy out in the first 2 minutes of this fight. So I think Bo Nickel scores very well. I think he could get a knockdown if he wants to. I think he can get a couple takedowns if he wants to, a little bit of control time, but ultimately that first round finish is what I'm looking for here for Bo Nickel. The only way this could backfire is if Bo Nickel comes out here in the first 10 seconds, gets a takedown, and gets to choke like a second after, which that could happen. And then at that point, he'd score 95? But I'm hoping he does get a takedown or two. He does rack up some control time. He does rack up some strikes here, and I think he can put up, 110, 115, hopefully, at 9,600. So hoping for a big score here with Bo Nickel. I'm hoping he puts on a clinic, and at 9,600, I like him a lot. He's a must-play in cash at minus 2,000 on the money line, but give me Bo Nickel to get it done here, and I will be having a lot of Bo Nickel, and probably... yeah, I'll be having a ton of Bo Nickel. I'm not going to go 100% all in on it because he is very expensive, but I have a ton of the guy. Mateus Gamrot, 8,600, going to be an unpopular play here, but I think this is a fight you're going to want to target regardless. Whether you do like Jalen Turner or whether you do like Mateus Gamrot, the winner of this fight is going to score very well. I do lean towards the Gamrot side myself. This is going to be a big step up in competition for Jalen Turner, and we have seen Jalen Turner struggle with the takedown defense and his game off his back. Mateus Gamrot, what I like about him is he can go out there and shoot upwards of 20 takedowns if he needs to. He's a guy that can get takedowns. Doesn't have the best top control, so he's probably going to take down Turner. Turner's probably going to get back up, but he can wrestle nonstop as long as it takes up until he gets the decision or up until he gets a finish. I do think he does have some finish upside in this match, considering Jalen Turner, the guy just doesn't go the distance. Jalen Turner's been to decision twice in 18 fights. Jalen Turner's also been knocked out 3 times. We saw Gamrot knock out Scott Holtzman. We saw Gamrot, get that knee against Carlos Diego Ferreira and knock him out. We saw him go out there and submit Jeremy Stevens in the first round. So, yeah, Gamrot's dangerous. I mean, he has multiple finishes on his record, and I could definitely see him getting a finish at some point in this fight. But ultimately, I like Gamrot for the takedowns. I think he has a ton of takedown upside here. And at 8,600, I'm going to have quite a bit of Gamrot. But we shall talk about Jalen Turner very, very shortly as well. Shavkat Rakhmonov, 9,200. We talked about him a little bit. Can't ignore a guy with a 100% finish rate. I think he's the real deal. The only problem is, man, this price tag, it's pretty disrespectful to Jeff Neal, to be honest. Jeff Neal's at 7,000 doesn't make a ton of sense to me, but if Rakhmonov does get this fight down to the mat and he's able to, I mean, he's going to probably look his price tag here. So I like Rakhmonov to get this done and probably get it done even in the first round. So I don't mind some Rakhmonov at this price tag. John Jones, 8,400. Yeah, I mean, it's a weird one. You can't be extremely confident in John Jones, but, when's the last time we saw John Jones at 8,400? I mean, we're used to paying 9,400, 9,500, 96. We're used to paying like 9,600 for this guy, and now we're getting him at 8,400. And the reason I do like John Jones from a DraftKings perspective, I know his last couple performances haven't been great. The reason I do like him from a DraftKings perspective is because his path to victory here, in my opinion, is going to be to wrestle. We saw Francis Ngannou go out there and look like Curtis Blades against Cyril Gane. John Jones has very good wrestling at the light heavyweight division. I'm curious to see if it's going to be able to translate up at this weight class, but if it does, and if John Jones does win this fight, I do expect takedowns, and over a course of 5 rounds, that is going to add up. So if John Jones was 9,600 like usual, yeah, I'm probably not playing him here. But since he is 8,400, like we never see Jones at that price. So I got to take some shots on him and a lot of shots on him. But we'll talk about Gane in a little bit. Moving on to our GPP plays. Valentina Shevchenko, 9,400. Yeah, I think she wins. Very confident she wins. But it's just, does she score well on DraftKings? And the answer to that is, we'll have to see. I mean, it all comes down to the game plan. If Valentina wants to go out there and strike with Alexa Grasso for 25 minutes, she's not going to pay off that $9,400 price tag. If Valentina, and this is what I think is going to happen, if Valentina comes out there and grapples with Alexa Grasso, mixes in takedowns like she did against Jessica Andrade, gets on top, uses that grounded pound, that crucifix, that submission game, I think she probably finishes Grasso at some point in this fight. And while with mixing in the takedowns, I think she can definitely pay off $9,400. It's just, if she does want to strike with Grasso, she's not going to score well, I don't think. So, but she's got to get this fight down to the mat. If she doesn't, I mean, Grasso's actually going to be probably somewhat competitive in this fight. But yeah, I think Shevchenko does get the fight down to the mat and eventually get a finish at 9,400. I'll be playing a decent amount of her just for that potential takedown upside. I'm hoping she goes to it. Cameron Simon, 8,800. Yeah, this fight's going to be fun. Cameron Simon going against Mono Martinez. I think these guys are going to stand and bang. I don't think that Mono Martinez has the best striking defense. I don't think Mono Martinez has the best chin. He's never officially been knocked out, but he got dropped 3 times by Ronnie Lawrence, which is not a great look to me whatsoever. And Simon's a guy that he's super young, but he has some good qualities about him. He has really good cardio, really good output, really sneaky power, and when he hurts you, he puts it on you. And he gets you out of there. So I do think Cameron Simon can score well here at 8,800. I think somebody does get finished in this fight. But yeah, I don't mind some Cameron Simon at this price tag whatsoever. Dricus du Plessis, 8,700. He's dangerous. He's finished all but one of his wins. And the win that he did not finish was against Brad Tavares in a fight where, first of all, the fight probably could have been stopped. I mean, he was close to finishing Tavares like several times. So, but yeah, this is a matchup where if he wins this fight, it's going to be inside the distance. He's not winning a decision here against Derek Brunson. If he wins this fight, it's because he knocked out Derek Brunson, which is definitely on the table here. Derek Brunson, 39 years old, talking about retirement. At some point, I see Dricus du Plessis landing a big shot and knocking out Brunson, maybe getting a club and sub. He's dangerous everywhere. He's dangerous for 15 minutes as well. And I just don't trust Brunson to go out there and take this guy down for 15 minutes. We'll talk about Brunson in a little bit, though. Like, Brunson's path to victory is going to score very well. It's just I personally think Dricus does catch him at some point in this fight. Cody Garbrandt, we talked about him a little bit. He's the much better fighter. Like, skill for skill, he's, like, so much better than Trevin Jones. It's just the chin is a very, very big concern. I'm curious to see what kind of game plan he comes in here with this fight, though. I would like to see him wrestle. Like, he's been going to the wrestling a lot lately. Against Rob Font, mixing several takedowns. He tried to take down Kai Kara-France several times as well. I wouldn't be shocked if Cody came out here and wrestled, instead of striking with this guy. So if he does wrestle, 8,500, he could score, pretty solid there. But you can't be too confident in Cody Garbrandt nowadays. Live dogs, Trevin Jones, 7,700. Puncher's chance. And a very good puncher's chance at that. I mean, he has a lot of power he's shown in the UFC. I don't think he's that great, to be honest. But Cody Garbrandt, he's been knocked out 5 times. The chin is a big concern. If Trevin Jones wins this fight, it's by knockout. He scores well. So got to have some Trevin Jones. Cyril Gane, 7,800. It's just due to the question marks. There's a lot of question marks about John Jones. We have not seen him in 3 years. He's coming up a weight class. Just so many red flags in this matchup where, although I do like John Jones a lot in this matchup, at 8,400, you got to have some Cyril Gane. Like, what if John Jones shows up and he looks like crap? That very well could be on the table. And to be honest, he hasn't had the best performances, 3 years ago. So what's he going to look like now? So this is a main event. You got to play both sides. I think the winner of this fight scores well, whether it's John Jones mixing in the takedowns or whether it's Cyril Gane outstriking John Jones across 5 rounds. I think the winner in this fight has a really good chance to find his way on the optimal lineup. Jalen Turner, 7,600, definitely a live dog. Definitely a dangerous guy. 100% finish rate for Jalen Turner. We have Gamrot coming in on short notice. But yeah, if Turner wins this fight, it's going to be a knockout. It's going to be a knockout. It's going to be a submission, a club and sub. Turner's dangerous wherever the fight goes. I believe he's a brown belt in BJJ and just has a ton of power. The guy is huge for the division. So when it's on the feet, he's going to get opportunities. He's going to be probably, if I had to guess, like the second most popular dog. Right behind Cyril Gane. A lot of people like Jalen Turner, including me. It's a tough matchup for him, but if he's able to pull off the upset, he's going to score a ton of DraftKings points. Derek Brunson, 7,500. I put him here just because if Derek Brunson is to win this fight, he's going to score a lot of points. Dricus, there's not a lot of footage lately in terms of the takedown defense, but there is some fights where he has been taken down extremely easy and finished on the mat. Of course, those fights were a while ago, so I think he's made improvements since then. But, Brunson, he shocked people before. I remember he was a big underdog against, Kevin Holland. So maybe Brunson does come out here and get this fight down to the mat consistently against Dricus du Plessis. And if he does that, and if he wins this fight, he's going to score really, really good. And I don't think many people at all are going to be on Derek Brunson. So I don't hate some shots on Derek Brunson this week, just because his path to victory is going to be to wrestle. I personally think he gets caught and knocked out, but as far as a DraftKings play at that price tag, I think it's worth some shots. Okay, so some pump plays here. Mana Martinez, 7,400, and yeah, he's a lot of power. Cameron Simon's 22 years old, still very young. Cameron Simon does not have the best defense in his own right. If Mana Martinez wins this fight, I expect it to be pretty early. The thing with Mana Martinez is outside of the UFC, he showed a ton of power. He showed a ton of finishing ability. And honestly, inside the UFC, he's shown that a little bit as well. He's shown, I think, 4 knockdowns in 3 fights, which is incredible. But, the finishes aren't really translating at this level. Maybe it does here, though. And at 7,400, I don't hate some shots at Mana Martinez at this price tag. Just because he has so much power, and these guys are probably going to stand and bang for 15 minutes up until there is a potential finish. So, Mana Martinez, there we go, is a solid pump play this week, in my opinion. Jeff Neal, 7,000. I think we're going to find out very quickly whether Jeff Neal's live in this matchup, because if Shavkat Rakhmonov is able to take down Jeff Neal, I think I think it's over. I think Shavkat is going to finish him. But if Shavkat Rakhmonov is not able to take down Jeff Neal, because Jeff Neal has great takedown defense. If he's not able to take down Jeff Neal, this fight gets very competitive. This fight gets very interesting. Jeff Neal, a ton of power, a ton of volume, love the pressure. And we have seen Shavkat hurt before in the past. This was outside the UFC, but still he has been hurt before. And Jeff Neal can hit like a truck. So I think it's worth some shots here for Jeff Neal, just because on paper, he has a 90% takedown defense. If he does stuff these takedowns, I don't think he looks 7,000 here at this price tag. I think these price tags should be a little bit closer. I think Jeff Neal's getting disrespected in this matchup. I think he probably gets finished, but man, 7,000 for Jeff Neal. I will be sprinkling some Jeff Neal as far as a pump play goes. And then finally got the fade. Not a ton of great fade options, I'd say, this week, but the fade for me is going to be Amanda Ribas. I think it's a tough matchup for her, to be honest. And on top of that, even if she does win, I see it being a split decision type fight. I don't see her taking down Viviane, who has great takedown defense. I don't really see her outstriking Viviane, at least early. For Amanda Ribas to win it, Viviane's going to have to slow down, gas out like she typically does. And I think Ribas is going to have to steal the late second round and then win that third. So I don't see... I see a path to victory for Ribas, but the path to victory I see is a split decision type fight that just does not score well. So I think there's much better fights to target on this card. All right, we did it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys can, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to comment down how many DraftKings points you think that Bo Nickel is going to score. Bo Nickel making his debut here against Jamie Pickett. Huge fight. Let's see if he can go out here and put up a massive score against Jamie Pickett. Comment those down below. Like I said, $25 the first. If there's a tie, the tiebreaker will go to the person that did comment first. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, DFS_numbers. Instagram is DFS by the numbers. Live stream Friday as well. Check that out. I'll be doing a couple live streams Friday, I think. I might be doing Best Bet Friday as well. But yeah, check out dfsbythenumbers.com. Also have the Patreon up and running as well if you guys prefer the Patreon platform. But yeah, lots of stuff going on over there. The optimizer, the stats. I mean, DraftKings article, just a ton of stuff over there at dfsbythenumbers.com. So do appreciate everybody that has signed up already, and to everybody that's going to sign up in the future. Best of luck for UFC 285. Should be a phenomenal card. Enjoy it, and let us make some money this week. See you soon.